This is Allosaurus. At full prime weight, a giant Allosaurus can reach an estimated 3.7 tons, standing among the largest predators of the late Jurassic. Living roughly 145 to 155 million years ago, it stalked the floodplains and conifer forests of what is now the western United States. Unlike the bone-crushing bite of later tyrannosaurs, Allosaurus relied on a different strategy. Armed with dozens of serrated teeth and a bite force estimated at around 8,000 newtons, it used powerful neck muscles to slash and tear flesh from its prey, inflicting devastating wounds with repeated attacks. Sharing its world with some of the largest animals ever to walk the earth. And among them was a formidable opponent, Stegosaurus. Protected by towering plates and armed with a tail capable of driving 4-foot-long spikes deep into flesh and bone, a healthy adult Stegosaurus was no easy meal. Yet fossil evidence suggests encounters between these giants were far from rare. The Stegosaurus adopt the classic defensive formation, presenting a wall of spikes to the approaching predators. Yet coordinating such a defense is easier said than done. Stegosaurus were not particularly gifted strategists, and with 3 heavily armed herbivores standing shoulder to shoulder, a mistimed swing could prove disastrous. One misplaced strike may not hit an Allosaurus at all, instead driving those deadly spikes into the very animal it was meant to protect. Today, 3 apex predators will test themselves against 3 living fortresses. The question is not whether the Allosaurs can kill. The question is how much blood they are willing to spill to do it. The Allosaurs know better than to engage these giants in a prolonged brawl. A direct confrontation would be suicide. The smaller of the Allosaurus soon finds this out the hard way. An unlucky boy. Darting in and out of range, they attempt to land quick bites to the head and neck, accompanied by deep, slashing claw strikes. Individually, these wounds are unlikely to bring down a Stegosaurus. But that is not the goal. Each attack opens another wound, another source of blood loss, another drain on the herbivore's strength. The predators do not need to kill their prey immediately. They simply need to ensure that every exchange leaves the Stegosaurus a little weaker than before. For the Allosaurs, victory will not come from overpowering their opponents. It will come from patience. A slow and methodical campaign of blood loss, waiting for exhaustion and injury to create the opening they need. Occasionally, one of the giants breaks formation, turning to pursue an approaching Allosaurus, or repositioning itself unnecessarily. It is exactly what the predators have been waiting for. Each gap creates a new angle of attack, a fleeting opportunity to slip past the wall of spikes and land another bite before retreating to safety. One of the Stegosaurus makes a desperate decision. The blood loss is becoming difficult to manage, and sitting down is the only way to begin recovering from its wounds. But healing comes at a cost. By lowering itself to the ground, the giant herbivore sacrifices much of its mobility, leaving it dangerously vulnerable to the waiting predators. The Allosaurs sense weakness, and they are eager to to exploit it. The first Stegosaurus is dead. For the Allosaurs, the battlefield suddenly feels very different. No longer outnumbered, the predators can now focus their efforts on the remaining pair. The odds have shifted, and a brutal 2 versus 2 now unfolds. The Allosaurs must tread carefully. Their plan relies on inflicting wounds, not receiving them. Even a minor hit from a Stegosaurus can leave a predator nursing a deep gash, and those injuries have a habit of accumulating over the course of a long hunt. The hunters may hold the initiative, but they are far from safe. Another Stegosaurus lowers itself to the ground. It is a costly mistake. Panic takes hold. A Stegosaurus swings for an Allosaurus. Instead, it smashes its already wounded ally directly in the head. Sitting once again, the wounded Stegosaurus leaves itself exposed. The Allosaurs sense weakness. They can smell fear, and they know the end is near. One of the Allosaurs sits to recover, but he cannot remain there for long. His brother is still fighting, still bleeding, and he cannot leave him to face the Stegosaurus alone. With one final bite, the Stegosaurus falls. What follows is one of the most difficult techniques in an Allosaurus arsenal, a maneuver that takes years of practice to perfect, and one that few individuals can execute successfully under pressure. The pin slop. With the final Stegosaurus falling to the ground, the battle is over. The Allosaurs let out a triumphant victory call that echoes across the landscape. Against overwhelming odds, they have prevailed.